Hi everyone, welcome again to my channel, which is Night Before Exam. Today we are going to discuss about congestive heart failure, and at the end of this video, if you like the content, please like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. Before starting this video, I would like to tell you that this video is specially for the college students, that in case if they are not able to study properly before exam, they are also get good marks with these notes, and I will try my best to provide as much as information as I can, right? So let's get started with the topic, which is congestive heart failure. Okay, so first of all, what is heart failure, right? Heart failure means the heart is fail to pump, राइट. बेसिकली हार्ट का फंक्शन क्या है कि जो ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड है उसको बॉडी पार्ट्स में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना, बॉडी पार्ट्स तक पहुंचाना, राइट. जो ताकि जो ऑक्सीजन है, न्यूट्रिएंट्स है, ये हमारी बॉडी तक पहुंच पाए और जो हमारे जितने भी बॉडी पार्ट्स हैं वो अच्छी प्रॉपर्ली तरह वर्क कर पाए. ठीक है, ये एक इसकी सिंपल डेफिनेशन है. एंड जो भी हमारी बॉडी में वेस्ट है, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड है, उसको वापस ले जाके बॉडी से बाहर निकालना. ठीक है, दिस इज द सिंपल फंक्शन ऑफ द हार्ट, राइट. सो हार्ट फेलियर इज यूज्ड टू डिस्क्राइब अ पॉइंट at which the heart cannot supply enough blood to meet the body's demand. ठीक है, हार्ट फेलियर हम कब कहेंगे? when heart is not able to pump the blood properly. ठीक है, हार्ट जो है वो ब्लड अच्छे से पंप नहीं कर पा रहा है एंड जो बॉडी की डिमांड्स हैं वो उसको कंप्लीट नहीं कर पा रहा है. ठीक है, इन दिस केस वी कैन से इट इज़ अ हार्ट फेलियर, राइट. सो हार्ट फेलियर कैन हैपन्स इन टू ways. First one is the systolic and second one is the diastolic, right. So in systolic heart failure, during systole means during the contraction, right. So during the contraction, in this case we are talking about the left ventricle, okay, जिसके थ्रू जो भी ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड होता है वो बॉडी में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होता है या बॉडी तक पहुंचता है. ठीक है, जिससे कि हमारे जितने भी बॉडी पार्ट्स हैं वो अच्छी तरह से वर्क कर पाते हैं, उनके ऑक्सीजन की जो डिमांड होती है, जो न्यूट्रिएंट्स की डिमांड होती है वो कंप्लीट हो पाती है, राइट. सो ड्यूरिंग सिस्टोली, दैट मीन्स ड्यूरिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्शन, हार्ट कैन नॉट पम्प हार्ड इनफ. हार्ट जो है वो इतनी अच्छी तरह से, यानी कि उतने प्रेशर के साथ, जितनी इंटेंसिटी के साथ लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल जो है उसको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करना चाहिए, वो उतनी इंटेंसिटी, उतने प्रेशर के साथ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं कर पाता है. ठीक है, सो दैट इज नोन एज सिस्टोलिक हार्ट फेलियर. सेकेंड वन इज द ड्यूरिंग डायस्टोली. डायस्टोली मीन्स at the time when the ventricles are relaxed, right. So in this case heart cannot fill enough. It means कि जो वेंट्रिकल है वो उतने अच्छी तरह से रिलैक्स नहीं हो पाता है, एक्सपैंड नहीं हो पाता है, और इसकी वजह से क्या होता है कि जो भी ब्लड है वो कम्प्लीटली वेंट्रिकल्स में फिल नहीं हो पाता है. ठीक है, विच लीड्स टू डायस्टोलिक हार्ट फेलियर, राइट. नाउ in both cases blood backs up into the lungs. ठीक है, that causing congestion or fluid buildup, which is why it is also known as congestive heart failure, right. So congestive heart failure affects millions of people around the world, and since it means that the body's needs are not being met, so it can ultimately leads to death, right. So basically it affects the million of people on the earth, and which gradually leads to death, right. Then part of reason why so many people are affected by heart failure is that there are wide variety of heart diseases like ischemia and valvular disease, right. And these two are basically responsible for the congestive heart failure, right. So there can be 4 types of heart failure, which is systolic, diastolic, left sided and right sided, right. So first one we are talking about the systolic heart failure. As I have already told you, systolic means to contract, ठीक है, in which the heart, basically the left ventricle is not able to contract properly, right. So वही नीचे भी लिखा है that cannot pump hard enough. वेंट्रिकल जो है जिस तरीके से उसको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करना चाहिए, जितनी प्रेशर के साथ उसको पंप करना चाहिए, वो उतने प्रेशर के साथ नहीं कर पाती है. ठीक है, देखो बेसिकली क्या है कि जो वेंट्रिकल है उसका प्रेशर और जो आउटिक वॉल्व होती है, इन इन दोनों में से जो लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल है उसका प्रेशर ज़्यादा होना चाहिए, तभी जो ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड है वो आउटा के थ्रू होता हुआ पूरी बॉडी में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो पाएगा। अगर वेंट्रिकल जो है यानी कि लेफ़्ट साइड का, उसका जो प्रेशर है या उसकी जो इंटेंसिटी है वो अगर आउटिक वॉल्व के प्रेशर से कम है, then the heart is not able to pump out the blood to the body, right? Okay, so first in a very important term which is cardiac output. So heart needs to squeeze out a certain volume of blood in each beat, that is known as cardiac output. ठीक है, हर एक बीट के साथ हार्ट जो है वो कुछ अमाउंट ऑफ ब्लड जो है वो स्क्वीज आउट करता है, ठीक है, एंड दैट इज नोन एज कार्डिक आउटपुट. सो व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला ऑफ कार्डिक आउटपुट? दैट इज वॉल्यूम ऑफ द ब्लड डिवाइडेड बाय पर मिनट. ठीक है, यानी कि एक मिनट में कितना वॉल्यूम ऑफ ब्लड है वो जो पंप आउट होता है या फिर स्क्वीज आउट होता है, राइट? एंड विच कैन बी बेसिकली रिफ्रेज्ड एज द हार्ट रेट, which is known as like the number of beats per minute. यानी कि एक मिनट में हमारा जो दिल है वो कितनी बार धड़कता है, यानी कि कितनी बीट्स हैं उसकी, दैट इज नोन एज हार्ट रेट, विच इज मल्टीप्लाइड बाय द स्ट्रोक वॉल्यूम. ओके, नाउ व्हाट इज स्ट्रोक वॉल्यूम? द वॉल्यूम ऑफ ब्लड स्क्वीजेज आउट विद ईच हार्ट बीट. ठीक है, हर एक बीट के साथ कितना वॉल्यूम ऑफ ब्लड है जो स्क्वीज आउट होता है, दैट इज नोन एज स्ट्रोक वॉल्यूम, राइट? नाउ बीट्स पर मिनट, यहाँ पे था ना ये हार्ट रेट, बीट्स पर मिनट. सो बीट्स पर मिनट मल्टीप्लाइड बाय वॉल्यूम ऑफ ब्लड डिवाइडेड बाय पर बीट, यानी कि बीट. ठीक है, अगर आप इसको सॉल्व करोगे बीट से बीट कैंसिल होगा, सो इट इज़ ऑटोमेटिकली वॉल्यूम ऑफ ब्लड डिवाइडेड बाय मिनट, विच इज़ द कार्डिक आउटपुट, राइट? ओके, सो to the next page. Okay, so there's an example here. First of all, I'm going to, okay, so पहले example ही देख लेते हैं. If an adult's heart beat 70 times per minute, अगर एक adult का heart जो है वो एक मिनट में 70 टाइम बीट करता है, यानी कि 70 बार धड़कता है, and the left ventricle might squeeze out 70 ml per beat. ठीक है, अगर जो लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल है वो एक बीट में 70 ml ब्लड जो है वो स्क्वीज आउट करता है, राइट? सो 70 इंटू 70, राइट? अगर ये चीज़ आपको समझ में ना आ रही हो, सो आई एम गोइंग टू रिपीट इट अगेन एज आई जस्ट टोल्ड यू, दैट बीट्स पर मिनट मल्टीप्लाई बाय वॉल्यूम ऑफ ब्लड डिवाइडेड बाय बीट. इस फॉर्मूले से आप ये निकाल सकते हो, राइट? सो 70 इंटू 70 दैट इज इक्वल्स टू 4900 ml per minute, which is almost 5 liter per minute. ठीक है, सो नॉट ऑल द ब्लड वॉज पम्प्ड आउट फ्रॉम द हार्ट. जैसे कि मैंने आपको बताया कि वेंट्रिकल जो है उससे ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड जो है वो पंप आउट होता है और पूरी बॉडी में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होता है, बट नॉट ऑल द ब्लड. अगर वेंट्रिकल में 70 ml ब्लड है तो 70 का 70 ml ब्लड जो है वो पंप आउट नहीं होता है. ठीक है, उसमें से कुछ अमाउंट जो होता है वो पंप आउट होता है और कुछ अमाउंट जो होता है वो वेंट्रिकल में ही रहता है, राइट? सो नाउ नेक्स्ट, stroke volume is a fraction of the total volume. Okay, basically this is a rough diagram of heart. This is the right side, this is the left side. Okay, now I'm going to tell you what is the stroke volume and total volume. Basically this complete section, this is known as total volume, and section from here to here, this is known as stroke volume, right? So that's why I've written here that stroke volume, like stroke volume, this one stroke volume is a fraction of the total volume, right? Now the total volume may be closer to 110 ml. Okay, like suppose जो total volume है that is approximately 110 ml, right? And 70 ml जो है that is the fraction that got ejected out with each beat, right? और 70 ml जो है वो हर एक बीट के साथ जितना ml ब्लड जो है वो बाहर निकलता है, that is 70 ml, right? And the other 40 ml kind of lingers in the left ventricle until the next beat. यानी कि जो 40 ml है, यानी कि 70 ml जो है वो पर बीट के साथ बाहर निकल गया, लेकिन जैसे मैंने आपको अभी बताया कि पूरा का पूरा ब्लड बाहर नहीं निकलता है. सो जैसे कि 70 ml बाहर निकल गया तो 40 ml वेंट्रिकल के अंदर ही होगा, राइट? सो व्हाट इज इजेक्शन फ्रैक्शन? Ejection fraction is stroke volume divided by total volume, right? So the stroke volume divided by the total volume, right? So what is the stroke volume? That is the 70 ml, जो कि क्या था? It is the fraction that got ejected out with each beat, right? Now what is the total volume? That is 110 ml, which is approximately 64%, right? Now next, a normal ejection fraction is around 50 to 70%. Okay, so ये एक स्केल है जिसमें हम इसके पैरामीटर्स को नापते हैं. अगर 50 से 70% के अंदर आता है सो इट इज़ अ नॉर्मल, राइट? अगर 40 to 50% ये अंदर आता है सो इट इज़ अ बॉर्डर लाइन. अगर 40% कोई भी इजेक्शन फ्रैक्शन, लाइक जैसे मैंने अभी आपको ये दिखाया था, अगर इजेक्शन फ्रैक्शन इसका 50 से 70 के बीच है देन इट इज़ अ नॉर्मल, ठीक है? अगर 40 से 50 है देन इट इज़ अ बॉर्डर लाइन, राइट? अगर 40 से कम है देन इट इज़ अ सिस्टोलिक हार्ट फेलियर, right? So a normal ejection fraction is around 50 to 70%. Between 40 to 50 would be borderline, right? And anything that is less than 40% will considered about systolic heart failure, right? So because the heart is squeezing out a little bit of blood with each beat. So example, if the total volume of the left ventricle is 110 ml, जो left ventricle है उसमें total amount of blood जो है if that is 110 ml, but only 44 ml is pumped out with each beat. Excuse me. एंड हर एक बीट के साथ अगर ओनली 44 ml ब्लड जो है वो पम्प्ड आउट हो रहा है देन इट इज़ 44 ml डिवाइडेड बाई 110 ml. दैट इज़ द इजेक्शन फ्रैक्शन which is stroke volume divided by total volume, right? So 44 ml divided by 110, which is approximately 40%, and this shows that person has systolic heart failure, right? As I've already told you, like any ejection fraction which is below 40%, that is systolic heart failure, right? Okay, now this is about systolic heart failure. Now next one is the diastolic heart failure, right? As I've already told you, diastolic means to relax or to expand, right? What happened in this? The heart is squeezing hard enough but not filling quite enough. इसमें क्या होता है कि जो वेंट्रिकल होता है बेसिकली द लेफ्ट वन, वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट तो अच्छे से करता है बट वो फिल नहीं कर पाता अच्छे से. मतलब जितना ब्लड उसमें फिल होना चाहिए उतना ब्लड जो है वो उसमें फिलअप नहीं हो पाता है, ठीक है? सॉरी. सो दिस इज़ अगेन अ रफ डायग्राम ऑफ द हार्ट, and as I have already told you, like this is the stroke volume and this is the total volume, right? Okay, so now next, like as I have already told you, not filling enough मतलब उसमें जितना blood fill होना चाहिए उतना blood उसमें fill नहीं होता है, and which leads to the low total volume, say about 69 ml. But still the ejection fraction is approximately 64%, which is normal, right? So the total volume is 110 ml. The total volume is 110 ml and the stroke volume is 44 ml. So ejection fraction is stroke volume divided by total volume. And after solving this, we have ejection fraction is 64%, which is normal. So even both the stroke volume and total volume is low, which is 44 ml, and the total is 69 ml, which result into 64. In this case, the failure is caused by the abnormal filling of the ventricles. in this case the problem is not the contraction, but the problem is the abnormal filling of the ventricles. So the chamber is not able to fill completely or stretched out. Another reason is the reduced preload, and preload is the volume of the blood in the ventricles right before the ventricle muscle contracts. Okay, so preload is basically the volume of the blood which is in the ventricles just right before the ventricle muscle contracts. So heart failure can affect the right ventricle and left one at the same time, or both, right? So some have right sided and left sided heart failure together, which is also known as biventricular heart failure. The person who have both right sided and left sided heart failure at the same time, that is known as biventricular heart failure. Bi means two, ventricular means like the ventricles are not able to to work properly, and which is known as biventricular heart failure, as they both are connected to each other, so one can affect the other and vice versa. So the right and left, they both are connected to each other. If one is affected, it may be possible that other may get affected. So the third one is the left sided heart failure, which is one of the most common type of heart failure, and it is usually caused by the systolic pumping dysfunction. As I've already told you that systolic means to contract. Okay, so in this also the left ventricle is not able to contract properly, and because of this dysfunction the heart is not able to work properly. So ischemic heart disease, that is caused by coronary atherosclerosis or plaque buildup, is the most common cause of this heart failure. Sometimes the plaque that completely block the arteries, and because of that the person may suffer a heart attack, which damage the scarred tissues. That means the ventricles are not able to contract properly, right? Next one is the long standing hypertension, because as atrial pressure increases in the systemic circulation, during this condition in the systemic circulation, the atrial pressure that become increases, and it become harder for the left ventricle to pump blood out in that situation, which ultimately increases in the muscle mass, which is also known as hypertrophy. Okay, so what happen in this, the ventricles, basically the left one, but it can be both. So the ventricles, they become larger, and they become more thicker, and the size of the ventricle increase. Okay, so what happened in this, the coronary squeezes down due to the increase in the mass and less blood delivered to the tissue. Next, it also means that there is an increased oxygen demand, which basically leads to the weaker contraction, and that leads to the systolic heart failure. Alright, now next one is the dilated cardiomyopathy, in which the chamber is dilated and grows in size. In this, the ventricles, or we can say the atrials, they got dilated and they grow in size, they become bigger, and they become thin and weak, and leads to the systolic heart failure. So next one is the dilated, which is filling. In this first one is the hypertension, so which means that the new sarcomeres are added parallelly with the existing ones, and the heart muscle wall enlarges, less room for filling, diastolic heart failure, which means the ventricles in this, these sarcomeres, they are going to like they are adding parallelly with the existing ones, and it basically leads to the enlargement of the walls of the ventricles, and which leads to less filling of the blood in the ventricles. Okay, so that leads to the diastolic heart failure. Next one is the aortic stenosis, which means like the narrowing of the aortic opening valve. Like this is a rough diagram of the heart, and this is the left side of the heart. So here it is the, like this is the aorta, and this is the aortic valve. So in this condition, the aortic valve opening becomes narrow, right? Next one is the restrictive cardiomyopathy. In this, heart muscle gets stiffer and less complaints. That's why ventricles are not able to easily stretched out and fill. That leads to the diastolic heart failure. The next one is the right-sided heart failure, that often caused by the left-sided heart failure. As I've already told you that they both are related or connected to each other. So they often caused by the left-sided heart failure, and fluid buildup increases the pressure in the pulmonary arteries, makes harder for the right ventricle to pump blood, which leads to the heart failure. And in this, like, the heart failure can be by ventricular, like if the right sided is affected, if the left sided is affected, and it automatically affects the right side. So in this condition it can leads to the biventricular heart failure, right? Next one is the isolated right sided heart failure. Example, right sided and the left sided, like the cardiac shunt. Because of the cardiac shunt, there might be a cardiac shunt like atrial septal defect or ventricular septal defect, right? So basically what happened in this, I'll tell you what is a shunt, right? Cardiac shunt, it is a hole or a small passage which moves or allow movement of fluid from one part of the body to the other, right? So next thing is, okay, so there's a small diagram or a rough diagram in which I have shown you the atrial shunt, and this is the ventricle shunt, right? So shunt, as I've already told you, like shunt is a hole or a small passage which moves or allows the movement of the fluid from one part of the body to another, right? So body flows with the high pressure from the left side and low from the right, which results in increase in the fluid volume on right side, right? That can lead to the concentric hypertrophy, and which is more prone to ischemia and result in the systolic dysfunctioning, and smaller volume and become less compliant, that leads to the diastolic dysfunctioning, right? So that's all about the congestive heart failure, and I hope you like this video. And if you like this video, please like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.